Hi everyone, in this video we will see what is hybridization of chemical compounds or bonds, what is sp square and sp3 hybridization, and what are the significances of hybridization in explaining the various structures and certain properties associated with those molecules. Before moving to the chemical hybridization, we will see what is the term hybrid, meaning of the term hybrid. I think all of us know the term hybrid means it is simply a mixture of one or two to give something new which is having characteristic better than the individuals, right. Now the best example is mule. Mule is made by crossbreeding this donkey male and female horse, male donkey and female horse. By mating these two, you will get mule, so which is having the characteristic of both horse and donkey. It receives the athletic characteristic from horse and stubborn characteristic from donkey. Now the resultant mule is having the characteristic which is required for the purpose of doing better work. Hope we understand from this the meaning of hybrid, how hybrid animals are made by simply crossing the different species or mating the different species. Well, it has to be scientific, of course, not all possible. You will get a new hybrid or new hybrid animal which is having certain characteristic of both the individuals or which lacks of characteristic from both the individuals to give better resultant animal. So this is called hybrid or hybridization of animals. Now you also have it in plants. Look at this coconut plant, it is a hybrid coconut plant. It is not the same as what you see in your place or in some villages. In villages we must have seen the coconut plants are very big and produces some coconuts which may not be sufficient for our requirement to fulfill the needs. But if you see this coconut plant, it is very short, the height is reduced and see the yield, it produces lots of coconut. So in terms of yield, it is far better than the one which we normally find in the village, and height wise it is very much shortened so that we do not have to climb the trees to pluck out the coconuts, right. So there may be some health consequences or lifetime expectancy of this may be shorter, there may be other consequences, but this is a hybrid version of the coconut trees. And you see there are some plants, so other plants like guava plant and these fruits, they are all hybrids which are having different characteristic in terms of taste or in terms of color, or it may be related to its content which is present inside. And if you come to these flowers, so these flowers again they are all hybrid. We can see this kind of flowers lot in some botanical gardens. So these are all hybrids, right. Now coming to this, apart from plants, nowadays we see hybrid cars. So this hybrid car is having a motor which can run using both gasoline as well as electricity. So it can make use of both electricity and fuel, petrol or gasoline, right. So this is a better version of this ordinary cars which we have today in terms of efficiency or in terms of movement, especially fuel efficiency. So this is a better version. So why hybridization is done? Normally to get a better version or to extract the required characteristic from the individuals and give an offspring which is having the better characteristic in terms of performance, so that the performance would be better than the original individuals, right. Okay, now coming to chemistry, what is hybridization? Hybridization is simply a mixing of different atomic orbitals, different pure atomic orbitals which are bit similar in energy to give a new set of orbitals which are degenerate or which are having same energies. It is simply a mixing of different atomic orbitals of different energy. But remember, the atomic orbitals which you have to be mixed should not be having too much energy difference, then mixing won't be proper or mixing won't take place. Remember again, it is just a hypothesis to explain the various the phenomena associated with the molecules. So, I will explain the importance of hybridization using this example, that is CH4 methane. Now, look at the formation of methane molecule. Consider this carbon atom, which is central atom having electronic configuration 1s square, 2s square, 2p2, because atomic number is 6 here. So, 1s square, 2s square, 2p2. If you see the block representation, so this 1s orbital has 2 electrons filled, 2s is having 2 electrons filled, and 2p subshell is having 2 electrons, px, py or any 2 are half filled and one orbital is empty here. Notice this one orbital is empty. Now, if you want to form a bond, so how will you do with 4 hydrogen atoms? See, look at the 4 hydrogen atoms, each hydrogen atom is having 1s electron, right, 1s electron. Now, you have to form bond with this p and s orbital. So, we know valency bond theory and molecular orbital theory. Valency bond theory simply says the formation of atomic or molecular bonding takes place by the overlap of valency bond. So, they overlap the valency bonds. So, valency bonds are what here? P and S. Do not consider this because this is inner orbital or inner subshell which won't take place, won't takes participation in bonding. So, now you have to consider this. So, how the formation takes place? Now, this 1s electron before mixing or before the formation as per VBT, valency bond theory, this 1s electron will be shifted here. Now, we just form bond here, correct, you get CH4. But using this, can you explain the CH4 structure like this? Do you think CH4 structure, the whatever it is having, now if you explain using this, see this is SS, this is PS, 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 that PX, YS, XS, PZS. So, these are different types of orbitals or different types of bonding here, SS bonding, PS bonding, PS bonding, PS bonding. But if you see the structure of CH4, all 4 orbitals, that is CH orbitals, that is the molecular orbitals, they are all same, they are having same energy, they are having same bond length and bond angle. Bond angle is 109 degree 5 minutes and bond length is CH of CH is 108 angstrom. You cannot explain using valency bond theory only. Why? Valency bond theory, if you look at, now there is a formation of SS bond, then PS bond. SS bond and PS bond will be different. If you look at the molecular orbital, then there should be different types of orbitals. But in CH4, all 4 orbitals are degenerate and all 4 orbitals are same or similar in all the characteristic. Now, how can you explain this? This can be explained not only using VBT, but by considering hybridization. So, before doing the formation of this bond or SH or whatever CH bond, you have to mix 2s with p orbitals, 2s with 2p orbitals. Mix 1 orbital from 2s subshell and 3 orbitals from 2p subshell to give 4 orbitals of equal in energy. So, you will get what? You can see it there. So, the formation of sp3 hybrid orbitals which takes place by mixing 2s and 2p orbitals. 1 2s orbital and 3p orbitals now will give you hybrid 4 sp3 orbitals. This is as good as mixing 1 liter of milk with 3 liters of water to give 4 liters of water in milk or milk in water. Okay. So, your final resultant number of orbitals will be equal to the sum of the atomic orbitals which you have mixed before the formation of the bond, just before the formation of the representative bond. So, this is all about the hybridization. So, this simple example, that is CH4, will explain you why the concept of hybridization is very important, why only VBT or which we already know molecular orbital theory cannot explain the structure of certain molecules. So, why, and we need to consider hybridization before the formation of the molecular orbital or molecular bonding. Remember, this hybridization takes place at the time of formation of molecular bonding. It does not take place in isolated atom as such. So, you have to consider this mixing at the time of formation of molecular bonding. So, here carbon with hydrogens. So, we will see more examples. So, that will illustrate you better the formation of different molecular orbitals using this concept of hybridization. See, all the molecules which are having saturated carbon atom, they have sp3 hybridization. Along with that, cycloalkanes carbons, they also have cycloalkanes like cyclopentane, cyclohexane, cyclopropane. In all these cases, carbon has sp3 hybridization. There may be distortion in the structure, but hybridization is sp3. Now, we will look for more examples. We will take some inorganic examples which show sp3 hybridization. We will consider ammonia NH3. Here the nitrogen atom is having atomic number 7. So, electronic configuration is 1s square, 2s square, 2p, 3. So, total it is 7. In the outermost orbital, like that is 2s and 2p if you consider. Now, the valency orbitals are 2s and 2p. So, you have to mix them to get sp3 hybridized orbitals. So, you get 2s subshell, you have 1 orbital, 3 orbitals from 2p subshell, mix them, total 4 hybridized sp3 orbitals. So, these hybridized sp3 orbitals now will form bond with 3 hydrogen atoms. So, you will get NH3 and there will be one lone pair of electrons. So, that is why it is distorted from the tetrahedral structure. So, you have pyramidal structure. So, we do not have the proper tetrahedral structure, the structure is pyramidal. So, you can see the bond angle and bond length of ammonia, which is different compared to CH4, which is a regular tetrahedral. Now, we will consider another example, water. So, water, oxygen is the center atom which forms bond with hydrogen, 2 hydrogen atoms. The center atom oxygen is having the atomic number 8. So, the outermost orbital, that is 2s and 2p, 2s square, it is 2p4. So, here 3 orbitals from 2p subshell mixes with 2s subshell, giving 4 orbitals of sp3 hybridized. So, we will get 4 orbitals. Now, 2 orbital from them will overlap with 2 hydrogen atoms to give H2O molecule. You can see this is again the distorted one. This distorted structure, which is totally different than the regular tetrahedral structure of methane. So, you can see the bond angle is totally different and again the bond length is different. So, this can be explained on the basis of Allen-Sichel electron pair repulsion theory, which is actually out of scope in this context, that is why I am not speaking. So, this distortion or distorted structure can be explained using that VSEPR theory. So, these are some of the examples of compounds wherein sp3 hybridization is prominent, and you can see structure, regular structure, tetrahedral structure and distorted tetrahedral structure. So, structure of water it is bent or V shape we call. Okay, now we will see what is sp square hybridization. From the term you understand sp square hybridization means 2p orbital and 1 s orbital as the hybridized orbitals. Out of the 3p orbitals available, that is px, py, pz, any two now will mix with 1 s orbital, correct, to give resultant 3 orbitals which are sp square. So, what are the characteristics? So, you can see s orbital mixing with 2p orbitals to give resultant sp square orbitals which are 3 orbitals. Now, the bond angle is 120 degree and it is planar. It is not like the tetrahedral which you have seen in the sp3 hybridization. So, this is a planar one. The best example is ethene molecule, carbon-carbon sideway overlap. So, notice this, there is now one p orbital which is either vacant or having electrons, but does not take participation in bonding. It may remain as such, or it may overlap sideway, there is a CC bond or NN bond formation. There may be sideway overlap, that is possible. So, you can see the structure of ethene. So, in ethene, now sp square hybridized orbitals present will form bond with hydrogen, correct, CH, and the remaining p orbital which is present on the carbon atom having 1 electron, now will overlap sideway to give phi orbital. So, there are various examples for sp square hybridized compounds. For example, you see all alkenes, carbons are sp square hybridized, and aromatic compounds, you can start with benzene, naphthalene, all carbons are sp square hybridized. And interesting example is graphite, carbon atoms are sp square hybridized. So, it has all the characteristic close to the bond length and all those. And remember, graphite is an allotrope of carbon. Notice this, diamond is sp3 hybridized carbon, but in case of graphite, carbons are sp square hybridized. Now, we will come to some inorganic examples. The best example is BF3, boron trifluoride. You can see boron, the atomic number is 5, so 1s square, 2s square, 2p1, so it will be the electronic configuration. Now, before forming BF3, the 2s orbital will mix with 2p orbitals, so it will give sp square hybridization. So, total 3 sp square hybridized orbitals. Now, notice this 1 p orbitals remains vacant, and now these sp square hybridized boron orbitals will form bond with fluorine, it will form BF3. So, this BF3 now has a 1 p orbital which is vacant. Now, it can accept pair of electrons from the incoming bases. So, this is the reason why BF3 behaves as a very good, it behaves as an acid, acidic in nature, right. Lewis acid it can act as, it can accept pair of electrons. One thing is fluorine is very much electron withdrawing, so it decreases the electron density on boron, and another thing is there is a vacant p orbital which can readily take pair of electrons from incoming bases like ammonia. Okay. Going to another example, borane, that is BH3 I will consider, though it exists as B2H6. BH3 bonding will be similar to BF3. Instead of fluorine you have hydrogen here. So, again the boron, all bonding what you see in boron, that is because of sp square hybridization. Now there are various examples even in inorganic chemistry. You can see all those which have sp square hybridization. Now coming to sp hybridization, here 1s orbital mixes with 1p orbital out of the 3p orbitals to give 2 sp hybridized orbital. The best example is acetylene molecule. In that you see each carbon atom is sp hybridized. Electronic configuration of carbon is 1s, you can see 1s square, 2s square, 2p 2 because atomic number is 6. So now 2s orbital will mix with one of the p orbitals to give 2 sp orbitals. So in this case what happens, there are 2 p orbitals which are having single electron. So during the formation of acetylene molecule, you can see CC bond formation takes place, one through sigma bond, and the remaining 2 p orbitals which are perpendicular to each other, they overlap sideway to give 2 phi orbitals. So 2 phi bonding and 1 sigma bonding between carbon carbon, and there is 2 sigma bonds total with hydrogen, 2 CH. Another interesting example from inorganic chemistry is beryllium chloride. So in beryllium chloride, the central atom beryllium is having the electronic configuration 1s square, 2s square, 2p0. Now 2s will mix with 2p to give 2 sp hybridized orbitals. So you have now chlorine, so it will overlap with these 2 sp orbitals to give beryllium chloride. So you can see there are 2 p orbitals which remain vacant. There are various examples of sp hybridization. Now I will explain the difference between sp3, sp square and sp hybridized carbon atoms in terms of their properties and some interesting characteristics. Now you see this molecule, that is ethane. This is sp square hybridized, each carbon. This is black one represent carbon and white lobe represent hydrogen. CC bond formation here in between these two carbon, ethane molecule, each one is tetrahedral in nature and you can freely rotate, and this is 3-dimensional figure, 3-dimensional molecule. So each carbon is sp3 hybridized. Coming to alkene, wherein each carbon is sp square hybridized. So you can see here carbon carbon, there is an overlap of p orbital to give phi bond and 1 sigma bond, and you can see this is planar in nature. And coming to alkyne, that is acetylene, again you see there are 2 bonds, 2 extra bond along with 1 sigma bond between carbon and carbon. So C triple bond C. So this is again planar in nature. Now see the differences. This is 3-dimensional and these two are planar in nature, 2-dimensional you can call it as. The bond length in case of alkynes is 154 picometer close to, and in case of alkenes it is 134 picometer, whereas in case of alkynes it is close to 120 picometer. Okay, and CH bond length is higher in case of tetrahedral carbons, that is sp3 hybridized carbon, and goes down when you go to sp square hybridized. Further it goes down when you go to sp. So it is 110 picometer, then 19, something close to 18 in case of alkynes. And look at the acidic character here. Acidic character of alkynes is very high, then comes alkenes, then comes alkanes. So sp hybridized alkynes having high acidic characteristic. How do you explain this? Because acidic character is because of percentage of S. In alkynes percentage of S is 50%, whereas in alkenes it is 33% because it is sp square 33 and remaining is P. And when you go to alkane, so it is only one part is S, so just it is 25% S, so remaining 75% is P. So when the S character is high, acidic nature is also high because we can easily remove the proton. because electron density is attracted towards the nucleus because S character is high. So H plus removal is easier. So sp hybridizer carbon atom is having higher acidic character compared to sp square than sp3. And if you look at the stability, alkyne is more stable because you have to break 3 bonds. So here alkenes you have to break only 2 bonds, then in alkanes you have to break only 1 bond. So the stability wise alkynes are more stronger, heat of formation if you see that, then alkenes than alkenes. So these are some of the properties associated with a carbon molecule having sp, sp square and sp3 hybridization. Notice this, when you talk about the hybridization of a compound or a complex, it is a hybridization of the central atom which is involved. It is not the atoms which are attached to it at the periphery. So only the central atom we talk about. Suppose BF3, hybridization in BF3 is sp square means it is of the boron atom. In methane, hybridization of carbon, only the central atom we talk about, that is sp3. Now I will suggest you a simple solution how to find the hybridization of a central atom, because sometimes it is very confusing, because you can't just calculate that number of p electrons, s electrons, how they merged, how they overlap, all those things in some competitive examination. So what you can do, you can apply this simple formula, that is half into m plus v minus c plus a. Here m denotes the number of monovalent atoms which are attached to the central atom, plus v, that v is the valency of the central atom, it can be on metal atom if you consider inorganic complexes, minus c plus a. C is the cationic charge, that is plus 2 plus 3 like that, cationic charge, and A is the anionic charge. We see the example H2SO4. Now what is the hybridization in H2SO4 if this is the question? Now you have to look for the central atom, that is sulfur. So what is the hybridization in sulfur? So how will you do this? You just apply this half into m plus v minus c plus a. What in the, see, look for the number of monovalent atoms which are attached to sulfur, that is hydrogen, monovalency atoms, that is 2. So m is 2 plus a valency of sulfur, that is 6, minus c plus a, c is 0, there is no charge, no anionic charge, no cationic charge. So it will become half into m plus v, that is m is now 2 plus 6, 8 divided by 2, so this will become 4. 4 means what? 4 indicates the total number of orbitals. Now 4 can be sp3, of course it can be dsp square, but here that question does not come. So there are chances it can be dsp square in case of central metal, if the central metal atom is something d orbital element. Now look for HNO3 or nitrate NO3 minus. Suppose in the some exams question is asked what is the hybridization of nitrogen in case of nitrate NO3 minus. Apply this formula half into m plus v minus c plus a. Now the cationic charge is 0, anionic charge is 1 because NO3 minus 1, correct. So what it becomes? Monovalent atom is 0. If it is HNO3 then it becomes 1, here it is 0. So what is the valency of nitrogen? That is 5. So 5 plus 1 6, right, because anionic charge is 1 minus 1, 5 plus 1 6 divided by 2 it becomes 3. So 3 orbitals total, that means it is sp square. So hybridization of nitrogen in NO3 minus, it is sp square. If you take HNO3, same thing you will get, that is sp square. So this is how you can find the hybridization of the central atom